Hi everyone, my name is Loretta and I started this presentation just to inform others, educate others about what they can expect when they call their mail order pharmacy and question the medication temperatures. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a pharmacist, I'm just a mom who's had this experience and I want to educate others about what they can expect and also unite others to try to get this changed. This all started because my son's medications were shipped without anything to protect them in high heat. He ended up in transplant rejection. Most recently, they shipped his medications again in just a bubble mailer, and his labs elevated again. So I vow to never use mail order pharmacy until they can show me that it's safe. Currently, they are shipping medications outside of the temperature ranges proven safe by the manufacturer, and I just don't feel like that's acceptable. So let's talk about the manufacturer and the label that comes with our medication. Sometimes you might receive a pamphlet with it, and it says what the temperature storage guidelines should be. On my son's particular medication, it says 59 to 86 degrees. My suggestion to you is if you're concerned about the medication temperatures that are being that your medications are being exposed to, I would contact the manufacturer. They are the ones that do the testing. The pharmacy doesn't do the testing, the manufacturer does. And whenever they shipped my son's medications like that, and I called the pharmacy and they said, oh, you go ahead and give them to him, it's still safe. I had to question that after what we had been through already in my prior experience. And when I contacted the manufacturer, of both of my son's medications, they actually suggested discarding the medications and getting them replaced after they had been exposed to the temperature ranges not proven safe. Next, let's discuss the hot trucks and mailboxes. So what we know is that they could possibly cause some medications to lose potency or have an earlier expiration date. And there are many different sources and articles where I found this information. Per research on this issue by the Health Daily News, pharmacists state that medications can be harmed by high temperatures. According to Dr. Amy Peek, a clinical pharmacist and director of Drug Information Services at Baylor University, she states that only a few of the drugs are actually tested at temperatures above 86 degrees. I am going to also include a link to the article below, and this article also discusses that there are studies showing that some drugs could lose potency up to 75% when exposed to heat. The manufacturer of my son's medications, again, also said that freezing could degrade the medications. One of the first things that the mail order pharmacy will say when you question their medication temperatures is they may suggest that they can ship it to the local retail pharmacy or another location. So my question to them was, if we sent these medications to the local retail pharmacy, will the medications be shipped in the same way on the back of a hot, non-temperature controlled truck without anything to protect it from the heat or freezing? I was surprised when I got the answer of yes. Mail order pharmacy, in my opinion, should prove that it is safe to ship medications in these temperatures during transport through either testing or showing that medications are going to be transported in the temperature ranges proven safe by the manufacturer. We shouldn't have to be the ones to test these temperatures on our children or ourselves. Many patients and physicians now have to question. As a mom, I have to question too. If this is the reason why chronic conditions are worsening or medications aren't working, could it possibly be due to exposure to the heat and freezing temperatures? Sometimes once you bring up the temperatures of the hot enclosed vehicle, there are several articles and statements from UPS drivers showing that the trucks get up to 130 to 170 degrees in the summer, which makes sense because a hot enclosed vehicle in a matter of minutes, can in an 80-degree day, can reach those extreme temperatures, one of the first things that they will say is that we cannot control UPS, FedEx, or USPS. So what I say to the insurance company then is, why not go ahead and just offer coverage, allow us to get that medication the safest way, which is by picking them up at the pharmacy at which it is filled instead of the insurance company's owned mail order pharmacy. This would help ensure that our medications don't reach any instability and that the integrity of the medications is maintained. So I feel that there are three companies at fault for not monitoring medication temperatures. I believe the insurance company, they're at fault for only allowing coverage of our medications when we get them through their mail order pharmacy. Then we also have the mail order pharmacy, such as the pharmacist and the technicians who ship these medications out in only plastic bags with bubble wrap or in a bubble mailer, knowing that they're going to be exposed to temperatures outside of the temperature range proven safe by the manufacturer. And then, of course, the delivery truck companies who pick up these medications knowing that they're going to exceed the temperature ranges proven safe. I have not seen any medications that say it is safe to ship in 170 degrees or extremely freezing temperatures. Some mail order pharmacies may say that this is the way that they've always done it, and thus far the FDA hasn't suggested that anything else needs to be done. But currently, I can tell you with my experience that when I contacted the mail order pharmacy, they said that they ship all medications that are supposed to be kept at room temperature in only bags. And room temperature, again, is that temperature between 59 and 86 degrees. And this includes children's liquid medications, which I am most concerned about. I've also seen posts where I've just asked the question, how does your medications get shipped to you? And people who are on the exact same medications on hot days, one will receive ice packs and the other doesn't. And it has us all puzzled. We ask why. And I do believe that some pharmacies are really trying hard to protect medications, and then we have some pharmacies that just don't. And although some mail order pharmacies know that what they are doing is wrong, they're not going to fix this issue unless they are forced to by the law. And then we also need enforcement of the law. Sometimes the mail order pharmacy will allege that they are getting guidance from the FDA, which is the Food and Drug Administration. But here are the facts. The FDA does not regulate mail order pharmacy. The mail order pharmacy is actually regulated by the state boards of pharmacy. Additionally, the FDA states that they do not allow for manufacturers to ship medications outside of the temperature ranges that they themselves put on the storage label, as this could result in lower potency of medications and also an earlier expiration date. So another comment that you may receive from mail order pharmacy is that this is how the medications are shipped to us from the manufacturer. I was skeptical after all that we had been through, and from the manufacturer telling me completely different information than the pharmacy. So I went ahead and I reached out to the FDA myself. Here's their phone number. Feel free to reach out to them as well. They did say that they're used to receiving calls like this. So per the FDA, if the manufacturers were shipping medications in excessive heat and freezing without protection, they would be breaking the law and face fines. The FDA also states that the State Board of Pharmacy is supposed to be regulating the wholesalers and distributors. If they are not doing so, we would again have another area where the State Board of Pharmacy is failing to protect patients, and we would need to file a complaint. Also, and most importantly, Why wouldn't the mail order pharmacy, if they were receiving medications outside of safe temperature ranges, and I mean the range is proven safe by the manufacturer, why wouldn't they report this issue instead of continuing to use the same unethical practice of not storing medications at the correct temperatures? If you are a store owner and you just received a shipment of milk at your store, and the milk you knew just come off of a hot, non-temperature controlled truck, and you were concerned that it would be bad, would you sell that milk to me knowing that it could possibly make me and my family sick? That's an issue that I have and something I just can't understand. So another thing that the mail order pharmacy may allege is that they use something called USP Pharmacopoeia for guidance. Please keep in mind that this is not at all related to the UPS to Brown trucks. USP Pharmacopoeia actually helps provide testing kits to the drug manufacturers. Additionally, it makes some universal recommendations as far as for temperature storage of. So I actually reached out to USP Pharmacopoeia, and I received a reply from Ellen Wilcox, and she's the External Communications Director for USP Pharmacopoeia. And what she says that USP is not a regulatory or enforcement body, meaning that they don't enforce the laws regarding to temperature storage. Additionally, she said that she did reach out to Desmond Hunt, who actually helps write the storage recommendations. She did say that he does recommend as well, on USP Pharmacopoeia's behalf, that he recommends that the mail order pharmacy ship the medications as shown on the manufacturer's label, which in my son's case would have been the 59 to 86 degrees. And that was important to me. It really made me feel good to know that USP does care about the integrity of medications from the beginning to the end when it's in our hands. So we know now that it's the State Board of Pharmacy who are the regulators who are failing to protect us. So the State Board of Pharmacy is supposed to regulate the mail order pharmacy. Unfortunately, they allow the mail order pharmacy to break even their own laws, putting many patients at risk. Some states don't even have a law regarding medication storage temperature during delivery to the patients. In my state, we have the following law. It says every pharmacy delivering prescription drugs shall develop and implement written procedures and policies to ensure the safe and appropriate delivery of prescription medications within the, and listen to this part because this is important, because they have to either do it within the temperature recommendations by the manufacturer or by USP Pharmacopoeia. So I already told you about USP Pharmacopoeia, and I already showed you what the manufacturer said, but just this, if we're going to go by the law, this easily proves that they're breaking the law. So the manufacturer's guidelines again say 59 to 86 degrees during excursions. The USP guidelines again say 59 to 86 degrees. Per Missouri law, it states within the temperature requirements recommended by either the manufacturer or USP guidelines. So if this is Missouri law, obviously they are breaking the law. Unfortunately, I have filed a complaint and it doesn't feel like it's really doing anything. Nothing's being changed. People's medications were shipped all summer long without proper protection from the high heat. So in my opinion, mail order should be an option, but not forced. And regulation needs to be enforced. What good is a law if we don't provide the enforcement of that law? A comment on the petition says, mail order is a disgrace to patient service. Mail gets lost, temperatures are not maintained, no personal connection to healthcare provider, which is a major detriment to success of treatment. In a study by Business Wire, when given the option under a cost-neutral plan, patients prefer filling 90-day prescriptions at community pharmacies over mail order by a significant margin. So there are a lot of people that don't feel like they want mail order pharmacy, although some people do like to keep that as an option. There are some additional issues with mail order pharmacy that I want to share with you outside of just medication temperatures. First, people are spending all day sometimes waiting for a delivery of their medications when they could just go pick up the medication in a matter of minutes. Children could get the medications off of the front porch and actually ingest the medications, and that's another concern of mine. Some medications are complicated to administer, and that face-to-face interaction with a pharmacist that can teach a patient how to use that medication, as well as allow for them to maybe ask any questions, is very crucial. People also spend endless amount of time waiting on hold or endure many transfers for simple issues. Many don't even know that the pharmacies aren't monitoring medication temperatures. I hope to change that. But when you think about it, for a lot of us that get their medication shipped in only a plastic bag or bubble mailer, there isn't a sensor on the package that tells you what temperatures that package was shipped in. It doesn't warn us that our medications could be exposed to unsafe temperatures. Additionally, each time you call the mail order pharmacy, you often will get a different pharmacist. And to me, being able to have that face-to-face interaction with a pharmacist that knows you, that knows your allergies, and knows your complex health history, that is crucial to a patient's outcome. And also, I do feel like it helps prevent medication errors. I also feel like the insurance company's owned mail order pharmacy doesn't have quite the working relationship with our physicians as the independent pharmacies. That's because insurance already has kind of a bad relationship with some physicians when they make them jump through hoops just to get the medication that they feel is best for patients. Many also say that mail order claims to save money. But when my son's medications were mishandled and he went into transplant rejection, the cost of that rejection was in the thousands. If he could have received another transplant, the cost of that would have been in the millions if he would have ended up losing that liver. Also, he could have not received another transplant at all. It's just not worth the risk. So next, the insurance company also only allows medications to be filled at their owned mail order pharmacies. And this steers people away from the independent pharmacist. And many independent pharmacists already cite unfair reimbursement practices, meaning that the insurance company pays them extremely low to fill medications. As these independent pharmacies are closing down rapidly, and this leaves many of our rural areas underserved. Mail order pharmacy also discriminates against homeless people who may not have an address. Mail order pharmacy also causes a lot of waste. I've seen pictures of tables full of medications from just one person who the mail order pharmacy would automatically refill medications whether or not they were ready for them. And this is a concern of mine because whenever they do this in programs that people are on, such as Medicaid and Medicare, that's our tax dollars that's sitting on that table. And in this case, this person's medications, it was thousands of dollars worth. And just think about where else that thousands of dollars could have been spent, as far as to help our state with roads, education. The waste is not good. That's a major concern also with mail order pharmacy. Additionally, just think about all the waste that's being sent to the landfills, these big, thick coolers when they do ship the medications right, the ice packs, the plastic bags. I just don't feel like it's necessary. If someone needs mail order pharmacy, if they want to choose mail order pharmacy, that's fine. But forcing people to mail order pharmacy by only giving them that coverage, to me, it doesn't make sense. So what do we do next? My plan is that we keep uniting. We're going to let our elected officials know that we demand their support in protecting us and giving options of receiving our medications the safest way, which is at the pharmacy at which it is filled. Every time they ship medications outside of the temperature ranges proven safe by your manufacturer, do me a favor and file a complaint with the State Board of Pharmacy. If you have any ideas or suggestions on how we can make this better for everybody, how we can get these issues fixed, please let me know. I genuinely do care about this issue and I want it fixed, not just for my son, but for everyone.